I'm not sure. In the incident report, it says that she struck me, yes.
Where?
It's in the paper.
I'm sorry?
It's in the report.
Where in the report?
I reported it that she had her finger in my face.
I understand that, but let's set aside putting her finger in your face. Let's set aside supposedly scratching you on your nose at that time. That was what you were saying. Is there anywhere in the report that says that Cardi on that day struck your body?
I'm not sure.
Welcome back to Legal Tea and Courtroom Drama. I am your host, Lady Justice, and do I have some tea for you today? Yes, I do. Well, if you remember my last video, I told you about the trial of Emani Ellis versus Cardi B. And today, as promised, I am breaking down each day so far. With respect to the first day, like most trials, they have what's called opening statements. An opening statement is when both sides, the plaintiff and the defense side, have an opportunity to tell the court, that being the jury and the judge, what they expect the evidence to show. And that evidence is supposed to help prove their case, their theory, right? So in this particular case, Cardi B's attorney, and his name was, I might be pronouncing this wrong, Ian, I think that's how you say it, Ian Rosen Genfasi. I could be screwing that up, so please forgive me. Anyway, he actually said that in his opening statement, he recapped his versions of the facts. And his version of the facts is that Cardi B aggressively and intentionally attacked his client, Miss Ellis, simply because she didn't want to be bothered. Essentially, he is saying that when his client actually saw Cardi B, she was perceived by Cardi B as recording her with the video. Cardi B immediately started cussing at her, saying, "Don't effing record me," and then proceeded to call her out of her name, calling her the N-word, using racial statements, calling her all other kinds of names. She ended up spitting on her face, and then she actually scratched her, right? And so in his statement, he also said that he expected the evidence to show that she had to go to therapy, had to go to get medical treatment for her injuries. She had to leave her job because of the trauma she experienced. And as a result, she should be compensated, right? Well, the opposing party, which is Cardi B's attorney, the defense attorney, his name is Peter Anderson. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm kind of biased because I don't think this is a viable lawsuit. I personally don't understand why this thing has even gone this far. I personally also think this is a come up thing. This is frivolous. That's my thought. Y'all tell me what you think. Anyway, to say the least, Attorney Anderson said the opposite. He essentially said there's inconsistent statements between what the witnesses said and had said continuously. Her police report is not accurate. She doesn't have photographs of any of this stuff. The interesting thing that I found is that she claimed she had to have surgery, plastic surgery for a scratch, honey. I'm just saying. She needed to have plastic surgery, which didn't take place until years later. But somehow Cardi B needs to compensate her for it. She also, because of the traumatization, she could not stay in her career. And as I said before, I don't know any person that look at being a security guard, especially when you're young, as a career. Usually people that go into security guard, unless they're, working for, a celebrity or someone in the government or something like that, and they're not usually called security guards, but most time these are not career positions. Most time these are just jobs, okay? And oftentimes you get this job and you're likely going to get another job. And so in her complaint, she's saying that she had to change her career, and now she's working with CPS or the equivalent of that with low to moderate income families. Girl, boo-bye, you just went to another job. That's all you did. Anyway, but she contending that she actually needs to be compensated. And Cardi B's attorney is like, there's no evidence to support any of these allegations, including the fact that that whatever you're accusing Cardi B of having done, that she needs to pay for your medical, your pain and suffering, your mental health issues, and the surgery itself. Child boo to the back, or your lost wages. Girl, no. Okay. Anyway, so they called their first witness. The first witness was Emani Ellis.
I'm not sure. In the incident report, it says that she struck me, yes.
Where?
It's in the paper.
I'm sorry?
It's in the report.
Where in the report?
I reported it that she had her finger in my face.
I understand that, but let's set aside putting her finger in her face. Let's set aside supposedly scratching you on your nose at that time. That was what you were saying. Is there anywhere in the report that says that Cardi on that day struck your body?
I'm not sure.
Did you take any pictures of your face at the time?
I did take pictures.
Okay.
There's several other examples where you testified that you took pictures, but somehow you just don't know where they are. You took pictures of the cut, excuse me, that you supposedly suffered after this, during this alleged assault, and you took pictures way back in 2018, but somehow can't find them. Is that what you testified to?
Yes.
It's insufferable because it's like you brought this lawsuit. You're the one that made this allegation. The burden is on you to prove the case. If you don't prove the case, then who else is going to do it? So the attorney for Cardi B asked her the questions. Okay, you said long time ago when this happened that Cardi B supposedly struck you and hit your nose. And then he said, well, where's that located in the police report? And she was like, it's in the police report. That's what I said. So he said, well, point it out to me. Show me where it is. It's in the report. How disrespectful. I don't even want to call it disrespectful, but how damnable is it? This is your damn case. So why aren't you the one to sit up here and saying what happened? But then when he said, well, does it say, is it in there? I don't recall. How the hell are you going to come to court, present a case, and you don't know what you are claiming to happen? That just don't make no damn sense to me. But you tell me what y'all think. That's just my opinion. Anyway, they showed a copy of her video deposition. So when you see that screen of her, she looks a little bit different. Her hair is pulled back, I think. That's her video deposition. Depositions are generally done during what's called the discovery period. Well, they asked her question at the deposition if she had taken photographs before. And at that time, she did. And there was some also testimony that she had not only taken photographs closer in time to the incident, but she also had taken photos sometime thereafter. But somehow she doesn't have them now. And so I saw some comments on TikTok, and a lot of these folks, whether they lawyers or not, they hit on a nail. One of the comments was like, so you bring your case to court with no evidence. You're boo to the bye-bye. I mean, girl, go to Mickey Mouse court and present that shit there. I mean, anyway, honestly, I enjoy this stuff, but quite frankly, having to report on something so frivolous, I need to get paid. Okay, jokingly, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, this suit is frivolous because she doesn't even have an evidence. Even if her attorney has evidence to support the allegations, her testimony is not helping the case. Up and she testified, and she talks about, you know, how this happened. She says that when she did get excited and said, whoa, it's Cardi B, she says Cardi B turned around and said, why the F are you telling people you seen me? And at that point, she goes on and say that Cardi B put her finger in her face, and she used profanity and shouted insults and called her the N-word, and that at the time she had 2 to 3 inch nails and it scratched her face. And then she started marking her. She also said that Cardi B spit on her and that she took a swing at her and she scratched her left face or left cheek. Okay. As a result of that, she said that she was a little traumatized. Oh, she just can't make it. She's traumatized, probably losing sleep. You know, all this sleep deprivation. She gets afraid whenever she goes near that building. She can't be near a police, a security guard anymore. Even to look at the uniform makes her scared. You know, all this stuff. Okay, anyway, I'm obviously joking. And I will also just say this. I don't want to make light or mockery of someone's trauma, but seems to me really far-fetched. Anyway, she goes on to testify that she did not intend to file suit at first, and she didn't take photographs at first. She also said that she was a really big fan of Cardi B, and she actually had tickets to go to her concert. But after this incident, she like, screw it, I'm not going. And again, as I said before, she was like, you know, she was on the path to be the security guard. This was her chosen, you know, career path. But now, because of her trauma, she had to leave and become something else, working with low-income family and their children. She's a social worker. And she said, as a result, she has suffered anxiety, depression, insomnia, and PTSD. Child. She sought psychological treatment post-incident. Now, this is the thing. This happened February the 24th, 2018. It would seem to me, and almost anybody that's reasonable and rational, that you would try to seek therapy to handle your mental health issues as soon as possible. From what I can gather, it looks like she didn't go to the doctor until several years later, okay? Now, she said that even though there was no scar on her left cheek after the incident, she sought treatment from a doctor, including a plastic surgeon. And as I said, I think she didn't get treatment with the plastic surgeon until November 2022. I don't know what that's about. Why you wait 4 years to do that? But guess what she did, okay? And somehow, 4 years later, Cardi B need to take care of that. But let me just tell you something a little bit about that. One of the reasons why I think this is ridiculous and absolute absurd is that in the course of 4 years, anything could have transpired. You could have gotten smacked, cut, slapped, whatever, by any other object or any other event. And so to ask someone to pay for what you claim to be the result of their intentional or negligent behavior, and you don't have any evidence of that except for years later when you went to the doctor, that's going to be hard pressed to find.
I'm not sure. In the incident report, it says that she struck me, yes.
Where?
It's in the paper.
I'm sorry?
It's in the report.
Where in the report?
I reported it that she had her finger in my face.
I understand that, but let's set aside putting her finger in your face. Let's set aside supposedly scratching you on your nose at that time. That was what you were saying. Is there anywhere in the report that says that Cardi on that day struck your body?
I'm not sure.
Child, how freaking disrespectful. Do you want to win the case or not? You know what I'm saying? You gonna tell the attorney that's saying that you're lying to look at the document? Like you just been a smart ass. It just don't make sense. She was pressed about not using a Band-Aid, taking that about the incident, and whether or not she had taken photographs. And of course, she did not. And then this is something that a lot of folks don't realize, but the defense counsel, which is the attorney for Cardi B, had brought up instances where she actually got in 2 car accidents. She had previous psychological treatment, and she had workers' comp claim. Now, one would be inclined to ask, like, why is this relevant? It's very relevant because if she has a propensity or a tendency of filing lawsuits just to get paid, this looked just like that, right? If she has had a car accident and has some injuries there, perhaps the injuries that she has claimed to have now could also be the result of these accidents. The accident that the attorney brought up was from 2021 and 2023. So they predate, well, no, they actually are afterward, they're subsequent to what happened with her and Cardi B. The psychological treatment, again, she said that she had all this psychological trauma from it. It is possible that whatever trauma she is having might be pre-existing, which means that that's not something that Cardi B and her team need to be responsible for. And if they are required to be responsible for, they're only required to pay a certain portion. Like perhaps whatever this incident may have exacerbated, but didn't necessarily create it. And if there's an exacerbation, then that simply means there might be some contributory negligence to it. And if it's not, then it's like you don't have to pay the full value of your alleged trauma or psychological treatment. And then again, with the workers' compensation. So again, if you have a tendency of doing stuff to get money, to get attention, this may very well be in line with what you're doing here. And I think that's pretty good. And the other thing, Cardi B's attorney was on it. Like, his team was digging for stuff to be able to show that we should not believe her, that we should distort her credibility. And she did not help that effort by being difficult, a smart ass, and telling them to refer to the documents. Or when she said, well, that's what it says, you know, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. I cannot imagine why she would respond that way, particularly when she has an attorney. California is a very expensive place to live, but even if she had plans to be a security officer or security guard until she retired, I don't think she would have ever made $24 million. I'm just saying. And the reason for that is if she's claiming that she lost her job because of Cardi B, one will have to do the math. So let's say you make $30 an hour. You work 40 hours a week. Let's just say you're going to do this job for the next, I don't know how old she is. Let's say you're going to do this job for the next 40 years. 40 hours times 40 hours times 40 years, you know, add cost of living, it ain't $24 million. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's what she's arguing. So that was the first day. And my thoughts on the first day is, like I said before, it started off, I guess, what is to be expected. I didn't like the way that the plaintiff spoke, because she spoke as if she's, you know, in the right. I don't want to say she's in the right, but her demeanor was not very welcoming, and she did not appear to be, I don't want to say approachable, but it was really more like, you all are getting on my nerves. I said this has happened. What I honestly think is that she may not have anticipated all the fanfare that this have come from this. My thought is that she may have thought that she would have filed this lawsuit, Cardi B would settle the case out of court to make it go away, and she wouldn't get all this noise. And then, of course, with there been so many people having various opinions, I think she might just be frustrated and annoyed by this process. Anyway, this was the first day. Y'all tell me if y'all got a chance to look at it, what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you want to hear anything else? Do you have any questions? Let me know. Anyway, this is Lady Justice, just bringing y'all the tea. So y'all keep on sipping, and I'll keep on bringing you the information. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.